What's up, everybody, and good music America. It's Kramzer here along with Joe, and we got a bit of a new show here for you on the Listography channel. It is Good Music America. Basically, it's going to be a nice Regis and Philbin style Monday morning show to get your week started, where we're going to round up some weekly music news, talk about stuff we've been listening to, and give you some insider look on what's upcoming for the channel. And a couple of in-house notes. We are recording this on Sunday. You see it Monday, we make it Sunday. So John Lennon could come back from the dead tonight, or at the Super Bowl, Janet Jackson's other boob can pop out. We won't be able to cover it till next week. But the goal really is, if you guys like this program enough, to eventually get it as a live streaming show. So kind of like how we did Albums of the Year back in December, get you guys live streaming and commenting in real time so that we can kind of discuss things that you want to see on the channel or what you want to talk about for this morning show. Joe, what are your thoughts on what we're about to do here?
I think it's a great thing for our channel. I love it. We're just going to hang out, talk a little music, have some fun, make it a weekly thing. Hopefully Jason will be able to join us one day. It'll be fun. It'll be good.
Obviously, no Jason right now. He'll be on the program soon, but he does have a lot of schoolwork. He also does the bulk of our editing and stuff like that for the major shows and graphics and stuff like that. So he will be joining us hopefully in a few weeks. But speaking of Janet Jackson's boob, the Super Bowl is tonight. You guys have already seen it. The Weeknd is performing. I don't know about you, but I love The Weeknd. I loved his album last year. So I'm excited to see it. Hopefully, as of this recording, it went well. But what are your thoughts on The Weeknd? And, how much stock do you really put in Super Bowl performances? I mean, there's been good ones, but...
In general, I don't really put any stock into the Super Bowl performance. I mean, a good one certainly helps the artist, but I don't think a bad one is going to reflect poorly. I mean, The Who, their performance was nothing special, but it didn't diminish my like for The Who at all. Obviously, Prince is pretty much consensus the best of all time. And yeah, I mean, I already like Prince very much. That actually did improve his stock maybe even a little bit more because it was so legendary. But for the most part, I don't really care about who's performing in the Super Bowl. It's pretty much just fake, staged, kind of hokey a lot of the time. So I'll watch it. I mean, I like The Weeknd enough, and he put $7 million of his own money into this one. So he's trying to go all out. So it could be really cool. A bunch of like cool guest stars. So I'm looking forward to it for sure.
I don't think there was ever anything hokier than when Lady Gaga jumped off the top of the stadium a few years ago. It didn't really look good. It was shot kind of poorly. I thought her performance was good, but yeah, I don't put too much stock into them. I don't even remember what The Who played or how it went. I definitely remember Prince because that was badass. And correct me if I'm wrong, but kind of the first big one was in the early 90s when Michael Jackson performed, right? It really wasn't a big thing up until then.
Yeah, 93 was Michael Jackson. Before that, it was usually just like marching bands and like weird like Disney stuff and like ABC hosts. Like it was a really weird kind of mishmash of sort of really forced stuff. Then Michael Jackson kind of set it off as, okay, this could be actually, almost as big as the Super Bowl itself. I think his ratings for that one was just astronomical. So, of course, every year after that, they attempted to do the same thing, put some big draw or some big event to make it, it's never going to be bigger than the Super Bowl, but it's definitely helped sort of, along with the game, the commercials, and the halftime show, make the Super Bowl such a huge, event across America.
The Weeknd, and maybe I just don't have my pulse completely on where like mainstream America is with their pop fandom, but seems like it's a little bit of a step down. No slight on The Weeknd, but like the artists we just mentioned, Michael Jackson, Prince, Lady Gaga, I kind of felt that same way about Bruno Mars. He performed right, and it's like, yeah, really good, but like I feel like it's a little bit of a step down. What do you think?
I think it's hard not to. Like, who are you really going to get that's going to be like awe-inducing for all of America? You're kind of, if it's not Beyonce or Taylor Swift, or I mean, I can't really think of anyone else, even like even a sort of legacy rock band like U2 or the Stones. I mean, we've seen them before. I know they still draw a ton of crowds and everything on their tours, but are they really going to get America talking? So the Weeknd's a good choice. I just don't know if there's really anyone like maybe Kanye. Um, but I think we've sort of reached the saturation point with musicians. And now it's just pretty much whoever's going to be popular, because you just don't have that huge, overwhelming superstar musician anymore. It's not really part of our culture. Half of album sales are down, and record sales and everything else seem to be down, and we just don't really pay that much attention, I don't think, unless it's like a Beyonce or Taylor Swift. I feel like the era of the rock star, pop star is kind of waning a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think Kanye has a chance anymore. And someone who definitely doesn't have a chance anymore is Marilyn Manson. Pretty big top story in the music world. Not a good thing. Very icky. Obviously, everyone watching probably knows, but pretty intense. Relationship abuse allegations from Evan Rachel Wood and other people have come forward. Rose McGowan did kind of allude to all of this in the past, correct?
I don't know. I'm trying to think back. I totally forgot that they were even together. And I don't think, has she come out and said that anything happened when they were together? I feel like she didn't say that. She obviously supports the people coming out, but I don't know if she had the same experience. Same with, who's it, Kat Von Teese, or Kat Von D, who was married to Manson for like a bunch of years. And, she said, yeah, he's kind of a creep and the substance abuse and other women and everything else, but never what Evan Rachel Wood is alleging. But a bunch of the other people coming forward say, yeah. So there's no reason not to believe, when you have this many people coming forward with allegations, and not that I don't want to like stereotype Marilyn Manson because he's creepy and worships the devil, whatever else. But it's kind of hard not to just sort of assume he's guilty at this point.
Yeah, I mean, him as a person, whatever his real name is, I can't think of it off the top of the head. I mean, he doesn't deserve any sort of, defense at the moment. But I also don't know if I agree because, obviously, like you said, you don't want to stereotype his artistic persona because there are so many other artists that have bizarre personas and stuff that's really edgy, and they're totally capable functioning human beings. So it's easy, I think, to say you should never say you should have seen this coming, like these women don't deserve that. But I think it's important to always kind of separate the artist, but this guy is a total dirtbag if these allegations are true, which probably are. And some of like the details of the stuff is just really gross. Like, called her like 140 times and said he was like cutting himself up for every time she didn't answer and stuff like that. And that's just not cool. Nobody deserves a relationship like that at all. And hopefully, more women come out and we learn more about this stuff. Phoebe Bridgers is someone that came out and talked about Ryan Adams with abuse lately, or in the last few years. Kind of a little bit of a distasteful segue, but she just killed it, I thought, on SNL, to change topics. On Saturday, she did Kyoto and I Know the End, and I thought it was great.
I liked it too. I thought the performances were really good. Those were my two favorite songs from that album, so I was happy with that choice. I like the horns. They recreated the sound really nice. I thought it, a very good performance. I think she's talented. her album, I think it was in my top 25 last year. And I know it won a bunch of real magazines, best album of the year, top 5, top 10. So it's very highly thought of. And it's nice to see that she's able to sort of recreate that sound and isn't, sometimes I hear these albums and I never really know what an artist is like in real life. So it's always good to be like, okay, she's good. Like she's not some studio creation. Not that I was thinking that, but you never know. I've been burned before by Fall Out Boy. So I always got to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, I thought one thing that really stood out, and just during the pandemic, I've been doing a lot of old SNL deep dives. I've been watching so many old episodes, kind of like the late 80s on. I always watch the musical acts, and it's just crazy how far like the musical acts have come, especially with the stage show and everything. Like I was so impressed when The Weeknd did it a while back, and they just had like that cool like soliloquist light on them, and she had like everyone was in the skeleton outfits. There was like that cool red glow, and then towards the end of I Know the End, there was like that like laser outline thing that happened in the background. But the big story is she had her big Pete Townsend moment and smashed her guitar. I don't know how I feel about it. I know most people were like in love with it. I didn't mind it. It seemed just a little attention seeking. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too critical, but and maybe just it's just not an authentic rock move anymore. But I don't know. It didn't blow me away as a big Phoebe Bridgers moment.
No, I mean, the problem with it for me was it didn't seem natural. And she was a little timid kind of with the follow through. Like, it's like she wanted to smash it, but she didn't want to like break anything or hurt anyone or anything. And I feel like if you're going to smash your guitar, you better just go for it. You got to get a big wind up, follow through, put your power into it, really smash some shit up. I feel like it was a little too timid for my liking if you're going to smash a guitar.
It was way too timid, and it kind of just seemed like right before they got on stage, she was like, wouldn't it be cool if I smashed my guitar? And then like Emma was like, should I do this? And then yeah, you're right. It was like a stunt man or like WWE move where like kind of half-heartedly pulling your punches. Like, I mean, it barely even like shattered or anything. Like it should have just bashed the hell out of it, but she didn't. But I love her. I thought the performances were great. I thought they sounded almost just like they did in the album, to be honest, which was in my top 10. So I'm pretty impressed. And I couldn't help thinking, and I love doing this, but if we're gonna make a Phoebe Bridgers movie, I think Brie Larson is the lookalike actress to pull it off.
Exactly what I was thinking. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw her. I was like, Brie Larson.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen pictures of her before, but I was like, is this Brie Larson with the Phoebe Bridgers haircut right now? Pretty cool. But all right, let's talk about some other stuff that is coming out soon. You guys just reviewed OK Weezer, which I did get around to listening to. And for those of you that didn't watch the Weezer review, Joe was, kind of so-so with it. Jason absolutely hated it. I'm in between that. But they just announced that they're coming out with a 4-album concept series where it's like cyclical with the seasons. Each album's going to be a different tonality with the season. And one of them is, I'm assuming it's going to be winter, is going to be the soft-spoken singer-songwriter Elliott Smith. He literally said it's going to be like Elliott Smith, I believe. And I don't see that being good. I am not angry, but it's just kind of like, you guys can't do everything anymore. Like, you can't just, it's like Jerry Bruckheimer as like a movie producer just being like, well, what if when they jump out of the helicopter, he throws the machine gun to his partner? And it's like, that's where I feel like Weezer's at right now. It's like, what if we did this? And like, they're like, yeah, and high five. And it doesn't sound good to me.
No, I mean, I'm not really looking forward to it. I'm not really looking forward to Van Weezer either, if we're being honest. I thought the OK Human one was decent. It's surprisingly getting decent reviews as well. Usually critics don't care too much for Weezer these days, but the whole song cycle, I mean, I could see it if it was like right after Pinkerton. Like if this was 1997 and they would have been, peers at that point. It's not like Elliott Smith is some old-timey musician. Cuomo and Smith kind of were getting popular at the same time. Obviously, Weezer a little beforehand, but it's not like they're, it just seems odd to purposely call out like Elliott Smith and to go for that kind of sound. I just don't see Rivers being able to pull that off at this point in his career. I think he's way too beyond the sensitive, indie singer-songwriter. I think that those days are long since passed.
I mean, especially if he said it's going to be quiet and it's going to be like Elliott Smith. Given the lyrics on "Okay," I think I said "Okay Weezer" earlier. "Okay Human," yeah, that just kind of makes me nervous that there's a lot of cringe coming up. But I don't know. Hopefully, yeah. I think I probably gave it. What did I give it? 2 stars, I believe. I wasn't too crazy about it. But let's talk about stuff we did listen to. Tomorrow, guys, is Black Sabbath. So we obviously dove into Black Sabbath a lot this week. But for new releases, I listened to Home by Rhye, 2.5 stars. Nice, soft, silky R&B album. I've heard a couple other albums, and they're almost to me just like this. I probably don't have a huge palette for this like low-key R&B stuff, but it's okay. Talk a little bit about Matthew Sweet, which we actually tried to record a album review for Matthew Sweet. Went pretty well, but we had some recording difficulties, so it never aired. Maybe somewhere in the future it'll be a part of a Lost Files episode, but Catspaw, to me, we talked a little bit about it. It's kind of a typical Matthew Sweet album. If you don't like Matthew Sweet, this won't draw you in. If you do like Matthew Sweet, this one won't. You won't want to get rid of him after this. I also like an album called Not Your Muse by Celeste. It's a debut British R&B pop jazzy singer-songwriter. Reminds me of kind of like mellow early Feist vibes. Whenever I hear like a new debut from a British R&B artist, I'm like, is this the next Amy Winehouse? This one is not, but it's a pretty good debut. I'll go 3 stars. Kind of smoky and jazzy, but it gets lost in between like wanting to be straight up R&B, lounge type, or pop. It gets kind of between too much in the album, and nowhere close to Amy Winehouse, who's one of my all-time favorites. But my favorite thing I've listened to in a while, and I know it's Jason's front runner for album of the year early in the stage here at the beginning of February, but Buck Meek with Two Saviors. I got it 3.5 stars. Really great. The guitar is from Big Thief. Really mellow, easy listening, twangy. Singing's really good. He's got like this kind of like bashful M. Ward approach almost. It's good. So that's what I've listened to outside of Black Sabbath this week. How about you?
Well, the only new album I listened to, and this will go into our next listography following Black Sabbath, which I can reveal. Why don't I just reveal it right now? It's going to be the Foo Fighters. It's going to be Jason and I. Kramzer taking the week off because he hates Dave Grohl, of course.
Whoa. No, I don't hate Dave Grohl. I just don't like the Foo Fighters. I love Dave Grohl.
Okay. But their new release, Medicine at Midnight, came out on Friday. I took a listen. I liked it. It's a little bouncier, a little poppier. Reminds me of their 90s, the Foo Fighters self-titled, and a little bit of There's Nothing Left to Lose from 99. Not quite as alternative, angsty sort of. I feel like in the past couple albums, the Foos have been real sort of dark, trying to work a little, metal into it. Something like White Limo from Wasting Light, and this one's a little more alternative-y, kind of in a bouncy, poppy way. So I liked it. I'd give it 3.5 stars. I think. Not sure where it slots in the whole Foo Fighters discography yet, obviously. I will be listening to all of them this week, and I'm a pretty big fan of Foo Fighters. My roommate in college and after college for a couple of years, Mark Masco, is one of the biggest Foo Fighters fans of all time. So there probably wasn't more than 2 or 3 days in my entire life where I didn't hear a Foo Fighters song or album. So they're ingrained in my brain forever. So I like them, though, and I'm looking forward to doing the whole discography and seeing where they fit in.
Plus, when you guys played together, you did at least Everlong, I think I remember, and maybe Monkey Wrench, maybe
We
some
did
other.
Everlong and My Hero.
Oh, that's right.
And probably something else. I can't even remember at this point. In my current band, we do One by One. So always played some Foo Fighters. They always go over well with the peoples.
Yeah, so a nice week heads up for you guys. That's going to be another benefit of this Monday show. We're going to announce the next week's programming. So you got a week to get your lists ready. It is going to be Foo Fighters in 8 days from now. I will be taking that off. I don't really like the Foo Fighters very much. I'm going to be honest. Their best album probably tops off at 2.5 stars for me. I think they're very vanilla. They're Wonder Bread to me. Nothing really interested me. Dave Grohl, would love to like go grab a drink with him anytime. He seems like the coolest dude. So yeah, I mean, we get burnt out sometimes. I don't think I've taken a week off on purpose in a long time. I believe I was sick during Supertramp, like last summer or whatever. So yeah, I could use a week off. But stuff that just came out on Friday that I'm looking forward to. Ignorance by the Weather Station, which is an experimental folk band. It's currently Pitchfork's like best new album stamp. In Praise of Shadows by Puma Blue, an indie rock band I want to check out. One that you brought to my attention, a surprise release by Haley Williams, Flowers for Vases / Descansos. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I wonder if that's kind of playing off Petals for Armor, which I thought was pretty good. And then Somewhere by Sun June, I want to check out. This next one, I have no idea what it is, but I saw it listed on Metacritic, and this is a classic. Yes, judge a book by its cover. Shiga, The Sunlight Mound by one of the best band names I've heard in a while. The Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. So just for that, I have got to check it out to see what's out. There's also a new EP from Vampire Weekend. Seems kind of weird. It's 2 21-minute long interpretations of the song 2021 from Father of the Bride a few years ago. And maybe the weirdest thing to ever happen, or recently, there have been weirder things, but Lupa Yupanqui, I think that's how to say it, is releasing an album by a toddler recorded inside the womb using biosonic tech. Now, we get a lot of flack in the comments for like our new AC/DC review and the Paul McCartney review saying, you know, the singing can't hack it. And we get like the, hey, they're so old, cut them a break. Well, I will be equally critical of this fetus. If they're too young to be good at singing, I will call it out as well. I'm going to imagine you might not listen to that one, Joe.
I am going to skip that one. I do, however, want to listen to, and we missed this, and I know he has to be popular on our channel because a lot of people in 2001 or 2, I think it was 2002, and maybe 2001, I'm not sure their discography, Porcupine Tree made a lot of lists, and the former, I believe, lead singer of Porcupine Tree, I hope I'm not butchering that, but Steven Wilson has a new album out called The Future Bites. So I imagine that's going to be popular with our audience. So I'm going to take a listen to that one. Should be interesting. He's an interesting guy. Porcupine Tree is an interesting band. So
yeah, never got too deep into that, but I do remember it seeing up in the comments. I do have it listed on stuff I want to get to. And since I've got the week off upcoming, I'll probably get to a lot. So I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know what else I'm going to do with my week off. I'll probably do a little bit of my own music. I bought a couple harmonicas at Guitar Center a couple days ago, mainly because I couldn't get the Wizard out of my head from Black Sabbath week. So I haven't had a harmonica in the house in a while. So I bought a C and a G and I'm good to go. But yeah, any closing thoughts on Good Music America, my friend?
No, not really. I think I had fun talking with you today, Kramzer, and it's good to discuss some new music and some new things that are happening. You know, I love my Sabbath and my old timey rock and roll, but there has to be some room in your life for new music and current pop events. So I'm looking forward to spending my Sunday, whenever we record this, with you for the near future.
Hell yeah. And hopefully soon we will be recording at Monday mornings, live streaming with you guys. But it really comes up to if the fans want it enough. But for all you Listography fans out there, Black Sabbath starting tomorrow. We will have albums of the year on Tuesday, top 10 songs on Wednesday, and our side 3 on Thursday. Friday, album of the year 2003. And then, of course, the week after, Foo Fighters. So start listening to your Foo Fighters collection. Get your lists ready for that. So, yeah, have a good week, everybody out there. Joe, it has been a pleasure. And we will see you guys next time on Listography. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notification. Check out our social media presence in the description below. Let us know in the comments what some new releases you guys are looking forward to or heard. And, you know, maybe if there's enough, you know, push for a certain album review, we'll get to it. We definitely want to start doing more album reviews. So take care, and we will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.